History often tells us that World War II began in 1939, but the truth is, the war began years earlier, in silence. Long before the first bomb fell, before the first tank crossed a border, Adolf Hitler was already preparing Germany for total war. Not openly, not legally, but secretly. Behind speeches of peace, behind handshakes with world leaders, Germany was rebuilding its army, stockpiling weapons, training pilots, and preparing for a conflict so massive it would consume the world. This is the story of Hitler's secret preparation for war. How Germany rearmed in the shadows, deceived its enemies, and turned an entire nation into a weapon before anyone realized it was too late. After World War I, Germany was broken. The Treaty of Versailles stripped the nation of its military power. The army was limited to 100,000 men, no tanks, no air force, no submarines, no heavy artillery. Germany was humiliated, economically shattered, and politically unstable. This anger became fertile ground. When Hitler rose to power in 1933, he promised restoration. Not just pride, but dominance. Publicly, he claimed Germany wanted peace. Privately, he had only one goal: revenge through war. Hitler understood one thing clearly: Germany could not openly rearm. So instead, he lied. Factories that claimed to produce tractors secretly built tanks. Civilian aircraft programs trained future bomber pilots. Sports gliders quietly taught young men how to fly combat planes. Even the banned German Air Force was reborn in secret, until it officially emerged as the Luftwaffe in 1935. Foreign observers were deceived. International inspections were staged. Paperwork was falsified. Germany was breaking the Treaty of Versailles and daring the world to stop it. No one did. Rearming an army costs money. Money Germany didn't officially have, so Hitler used a financial trick. The regime introduced MEFO bills, secret government IOUs that hid military spending from public budgets. On paper, Germany looked stable. In reality, it was bleeding money into weapons production. This deception allowed Hitler to build tanks, aircraft, and artillery without triggering economic alarms abroad. By the time the truth surfaced, Germany was already armed. Hitler didn't just build weapons, he built soldiers. German youth were trained early. Discipline, obedience, physical endurance. Schools became ideological factories. Children learned that sacrifice for the nation was honorable, that dying for Germany was glorious. By adulthood, millions were already mentally prepared for war. Germany wasn't just rearming its army, it was militarizing its population. The world admired Germany's new highways, the autobahns. They were praised as symbols of progress, but they had a darker purpose. The roads were built wide and straight, perfect for tanks, trucks, and troop movements. Bridges were reinforced for heavy armor. Routes were designed for rapid mobilization. Germany could now move an army faster than any nation in Europe. War planning was built directly into civilian life. Hitler didn't rush, he tested. In 1936, German troops marched into the Rhineland, a direct violation of international agreements. French and British forces could have stopped him easily. They didn't. Hitler later admitted that if France had intervened, Germany would have been forced to retreat. This moment changed everything. Hitler learned that the world would not act. From that point forward, he accelerated his plans. By the late 1930s, Germany was no longer preparing defensively. Hitler was planning conquest. Military leadership was pressured into obedience. Generals who questioned him were sidelined or removed. Plans were drawn not just for nearby nations, but for an ideological war of annihilation. In 1940, after defeating France, Hitler approved the unthinkable, Operation Barbarossa, a massive invasion of the Soviet Union. Over 3 million soldiers, thousands of tanks and aircraft. It was the largest military operation in human history, planned in secrecy until the final moment. Even as Germany prepared to strike, Hitler signed non-aggression pacts. He smiled for cameras, promised peace, shook hands with enemies he intended to destroy. These agreements bought time to move troops, fuel stockpiles, and weapons into position. By the time the invasion began, it was unstoppable. Hitler's secret preparation worked. At first, Germany's early victories stunned the world. Poland fell, France collapsed, Europe burned, but secrecy could not replace reality. Germany was not prepared for a long war. Resources ran thin. Enemies adapted. The deception that built the war could not sustain it. The same secrecy that gave Hitler power also blinded him to his own limits. World War II did not begin with a gunshot. It began with lies, with secret factories, with hidden budgets, with a nation quietly turned into a weapon. Hitler prepared for war in silence, and when the world finally heard the sound, it was already too late.